Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. With the Dinos You now officially being part of ARK, I've decided it's time to take another look at the land of creativity. Yes, gladiatresses and gladiators, today I've got something electrifying for you. We're taking a look at 5 mod dinos that you should absolutely try in your playthroughs in ARK Survival Ascended. Whether you're here just for an improved version of an existing creature that you know is in need for some tender love and care, or for a creature that you desperately wanted in the game but sadly lost in the votes last year, or maybe you're here because you want to find something new, never before seen in ARK, or maybe you're here just to find the biggest, baddest creature on the shop. Don't worry, I got something for everybody in this video. Now the mod shop is huge. New dinos are coming out almost every week, which makes it pretty impossible to make a video with just 5 entries. With that in mind, I decided to shed some light on the newer creatures on the shop, relatively speaking. So, the creatures on the list have all been released in the past 2 months. Well, with that being said, let's start with the first creature on the list. If you're in search of an improved version of an already existing creature, I think Reclamation's Fulgur Horn is worth a shot. The Fulgur Horn is a powered up version of the Obvious, literally. These things are electrical sheep. And as stupid as that sounds, they're super fun. Now, unsurprisingly, they have a lot in common with the regular Ovis. They give you wool just like a sheep, though the amount is double and the regrowth rate is insane. They're still tamed with veggie cakes. They have the exact same trash base stats, with the exception of melee damage, which is double, and they can still be slaughtered for mutton. But, in the modder's own words, they're not just sheep. You see, these sheep are clearly on steroids, because even though their base stats are the same as a normal Ovis, their stats gained per level are way better. With the same amount of wild points into health, a Fulgur Horn can have 5 times more health than a regular Ovis. The next big difference is the movement, which pairs great with their weight stat. The Fulgur Horn has a much better jump, and gains momentum when running, similar to the Androsarchus or the Direbearer, for those of you who started with Ascended. But obviously, the biggest difference is in combat capabilities. Their attacks now shock and stun opponents, delivering a whopping 48 damage? Oh yeah, double damage means they have 10 base damage. Shit. However, just like in reality, the Fulgur Horns are supposed to be kept in a flock, because they have a gang boost, which is by far the strongest pack boost I've ever seen. The cap for this thing is at 13 members. This pack boost gives an extra 5% damage resistance and a whopping extra 600% melee damage at full power. They still don't have saddles to balance this out, and they're still a bit of a meme, but I think they can be surprisingly good. And come on, who doesn't want a flock of sheep empowered by the God of Thunder? Next on our list, we have a dino for my fellow Spino enjoyers who are in search of something new and fresh. Guys, if you have a Spino army, this will turn it up to 11. I'm talking about Tristan's Vectus Spinus. This is a large member of the Spinosaurid family that is here to be your mount to lead your army. Even though its first saddle is unlocked at level 55, taming these requires a special kind of weapon unlocked at level 75, but you can gain early access to them using wild babies. In terms of stats, their health is pretty much equal to a Therizino, while their damage is quite a bit behind the Rex or the Spino. Their stamina though is leagues ahead all of them, which is perfect for a battle mount. Now besides their regular attack, they have a water breath attack, which has a hefty stamina cost, but does a crap ton of damage. Its next ability is my favorite, it's the Buff Roar. This roar boosts literally every stat by 25% for all nearby Spinosaurids, including some mod dinos as well. The Vectus Spinus also has other abilities, like turning on the spot, no oxygen swimming, though it's important to note that they're not able to regenerate stamina while swimming, and a very impressive aesthetical roar. I'm genuinely amazed with how good the animations and the sound effects of this dino are. But the last important thing we have to mention is the Artillery Saddle. Unlocked at level 85, this saddle allows the Vectus Spinus to fully embrace the buffing/range support dino. Aiming is a bit wonky, and I would love some different icons for the ammo, but all in all, it's super fun and useful. And the best part, you can still use all the other buffs you would normally use, like the Uteror and the hydration buff. I'll be honest, when I first saw this, I wasn't that impressed. But now, after actually taking an in-depth look and testing the dino, this thing has won me over. By the way, speaking of the Spinos, wildcard, please just fix their attack speed. Their bite actually has higher DPS nowadays. But if you've been looking for something a bit better when it comes to water, something that maybe you wanted in the game but ultimately lost the vote, look no further than Moro's Nothosaurus. The Nothosaurus is a late game hybrid creature with a myriad of abilities. They move at a decent speed on land, but they're truly in their element when fully submerged. Their taming method is one that truly stands out to me. You need to feed them electricity produced by generators, and the higher level ones will probably chew more than a dozen generators. That's basically why I said late game creature. But once tamed, this thing is nothing short of amazing. First, it has two modes, a charge mode and a consumption mode. This obviously refers to its state of charging. You charge up the Nothosaurus by attacking things in the charge mode. Once charged, you can use your power either to greatly increase your attack and shock opponents, or you can use it to power one of your three ultimate abilities. One being a powerful AoE electric explosion, one being a defensive electric bubble that slows and shocks anything that enters its range, and a lightning strike, which deals damage and also sets anything struck on fire. Besides this, you have several other attacks, like the lunge, barrel roll, or the tail whip, as well as some barrel rolls to the side for some extra mobility in the ocean. And their last important ability is their pearl gathering. They have an ability that helps you locate nearby pearls, and they collect at a much better rate, which is great considering how many pearls you have to use to tame one. But the best thing about this dino has to be the attention to detail. You can get some insane shots with this one. Amazing job done by the modder. But if you're in for a true challenge, for the biggest and baddest creature on the mod shop, I give you Cyrus's Prism Morx, or how I like to call it, the Totally Not Godzilla Atomic Kaiju mod. The Prism Morx is the perfect challenge if you for some reason run out of bosses to fight. This thing is huge, has insane stats and incredible firepower, and is super slow. At least on land. In water it's actually decent. And yes, it can be tamed. All you have to do is to kill a Prism Morx and then collect its egg, hatch it in a volcano, and boom, you got your own kaiju. It comes equipped with a swipe attack, a stomp which does double the damage, and of course the atomic breath. Now, if you do manage to get a Prism Morx, do not fight a wild one. Just don't. Trust me, you will regret it. Why is that? Well, the Prism Morx has one glaring weakness: torpor. And the wild version, unlike the tamed ones, can apply an insane amount of torpor using their breath attack. So you will get knocked out in 0.5 seconds. But in case you wanna go the easy coward's way, the torpor weakness applies to wild Prism Morxes as well. Now, before we move on to the last creature, I want to thank you guys for helping me surpass the 10,000 subscribers mark. I know YouTube is all about views and likes and comments, which are absolutely vital for the channel. Feel free to leave as many as you like, I will try to answer them all. But I have to say this, seeing that sub counter get another digit filled my heart with joy and pride for the work I've put into this channel. Thank you everyone for the support. Now, as promised, I will be doing a face reveal in the Q&A video, speaking of which, you still got until the 24th of July to submit your questions for the Q&A. Either on my Discord channel, the community tab, or even in the comments of this video. And to show my appreciation to you guys for the amazing support I got lately, lots of comments, new channel members, and even donations, I will host another giveaway, which I will announce in the Q&A. So make sure you're subscribed and you have notifications turned on if you don't want to miss that video. Okay, Spartacus, what's the last creature? What's the creature that combines all needs? The creature that lost a vote, that brings a lot of firepower, that's new and fresh, and somehow improves something already existing in the game. Well, I give you Jimmy's Bars Balia. This thing is what you get if you cross a Parasaur with a horse and a war elephant. Definitely one of the most interactive and fun creatures to use. It has a plethora of attacks and buffs, as well as a barded saddle armed with a cannon with insane range. Its attacks include bashes, basically in all directions, light attacks and heavy attacks, as well as an AoE stomp that deals an insane amount of damage, and applies the rage buff. The rage buff gives 20% extra melee attack and modifies the light attack into the heavy attack when stationary. But the buffs don't stop there. Each type of berry gives the Bars Balia a different buff. You can pause and read them, and all of these buffs can be stacked to have them basically permanently. And the cherry on top of the cake, obviously the Barded Saddle. Unlocked at level 82, comes equipped with a cannon, and its damage scales with your melee damage. Oh, did I mention both saddles act as smithies, so you can basically craft cannonballs on the go. Now, being a hadrosaur, its weight stat is insane, and I think the weight that you have in your inventory also affects your damage. Unfortunately, similar to the Titanosaur or the Rock Golem, it's tamed using the cannonball method, which can be a little bit dangerous because it has a pretty small head and their health is pretty close to their torpor. Overall, it's definitely one of my favorite mod dinos ever. You should definitely try it. So yeah, these are my favorite 5 creature mods from the past 2 months. I think all of them bring something unique and fresh and are deserving a shot in your playthroughs. Hope you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and leave your questions for the Q&A in the comments below. See you next time when we're gonna crown the king of the crocodilians between these 3. The Versus series is back. Spartacus out.